Hello everyone and welcome to Backcountry Gear Shed. In this video we'll be taking another look at the basic starter survival pack I outfitted previously on my channel. If you haven't seen that video yet, I encourage you to visit my channel and have a look. While you're there, please take a moment to subscribe if you're interested in this type of content. I'm working on growing this channel and I greatly appreciate every subscriber. To start, cordage. Cordage was not included in the previous video. Really should have been. A little out of character for me. I'm pretty gung-ho on cordage and not tying, but I'm remedying that now with two bundles 30 feet each of 550 Mil-Spec Paracord. I'm adding a signal mirror and emergency whistle. This was a recommendation from a viewer of the previous video, the viewer XSEF. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's the letter X, S-E-P-H. They commented saying they noticed a lack of emergency whistles and signal mirrors in the pack. They were absolutely correct. It was something that I had overlooked, and I am fixing that now. In addition to that, we are adding this Arcturus heavy-duty survival blanket. This blanket is basically like a tarp material on one side and an emergency blanket, thermal blanket material on the other side. So it will be usable to wrap up in an emergency situation like a blanket, or it could be hung up in trees like a tarp using the paracord. It is on the small side. This is a 5-foot by 7-foot blanket, so it's only going to provide so much cover. It's kind of a one-person size cover, but in a pinch, she will have something for cover, and that's something else that was lacking from the kit previously. In addition to that, I mentioned my dissatisfaction with the compass in the kit in the previous video, and that will be replaced with this Suunto compass, which also has a built-in mirror, which can be used in tandem with this mirror to be able to signal in any direction. In other words, if the sun is behind her and she needs to signal at a plane or some direction in front of her, she'll be able to use the double mirrors to project that light in any direction, theoretically. To go into a little more detail on the compasses, this is the compass that I had purchased previously for this pack. This is the Turn On Sport. It's made in China, something I just found on Amazon. The reviews were favorable, and I didn't want to pay the current asking price for the Brunton TrueArc 3. This one I had purchased in 2018 for $12. The current asking price is $24. So seeing that doubling in price, I was a little reluctant to spend the money. And as I put it in the previous video, I cheaped out and bought this $10 Chinese compass, which I was dissatisfied with the quality of right out of the gate. Before I even got out of the package, I could see that the quality was not as good as the Brunton TrueArc, and it left me feeling like I probably should have just bought the Brunton TrueArc. However, I didn't do that. I bought the Suunto, which is a very nice compass. This is made in Finland. It's a very professional grade compass and worthy of a professional forester, anyone who does very advanced mapping and wayfinding with a compass on a regular basis would probably be happy with a compass like this, but it's probably overkill, at least for most users who might only use their compass in an emergency situation. You could probably get by with either one of these just fine, although I do really like that addition of the mirror on this one, especially for the purpose I described earlier, using that as a dual mirror, although you could easily just carry a couple of signal mirrors instead. In retrospect, this compass is not as bad as I made it out to be initially. One thing you'll notice with all three of these compasses, they all have adjustable dials, they all have markings for declination adjustment, and most importantly, they all point north. So ultimately, with those factors taken into consideration, any of these compasses will probably do the job just fine. We'll see how they hold up over time. I've seen reports of the Bruntons getting air bubbles in them. I think that was not the norm. It was outlier cases, but it happens. So that could happen with the Brunton, could happen with any of these, really. We'll see. Time will tell how they hold up. But as it stands right now, any of these would probably be a fine option. And I'll actually even probably end up buying a second one of these compasses, the $10 ones, for my son. I have two sons, an 11-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'll probably put one of these in each of their packs. Seems fine for that purpose. Taking another quick look at the Suunto MC2. Now that I have this unpackaged, it is just very nice. when you hold something this precision in your hands, you can just feel the quality. It's a very nice compass, and definitely lived up to my expectations, and then some, really. Snaps together securely. Very nice. I hope this provides many years of use. I expect it will. Hopefully it will hold up. Another addition I forgot to mention is this crank up solar powered flashlight. I keep these, I have one of these in my pack. I purchased 4 more of these so I can put one in my pack, my wife's pack, both my son's packs. And these, they have a battery. You can charge them up pretty quickly by cranking them up, or over several hours of laying them out in the sun. I believe it's 1 minute of charging to 6 minutes of light, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I don't think these are the most reliable or anything. It's just some Chinese manufacturer I found on Amazon. It's just a secondary thing. I showed the Princeton Tech headlamp in the last video. That'll be her primary mode of providing light for herself. But this is just a secondary, a backup thing that will be in her pack should she need it. Here are all the items that will be going in the pack. I'm not going to go through all of them in detail now since I've already covered most of them in the previous video, other than the new additions we already discussed today. Here's the pack loaded with all of that gear. It's getting a little full, but does still have some room inside for additional clothing layers or gear. There's also some additional capacity on the outside with the bungee straps where additional clothing layers could be held or gear. The side pockets will mostly be occupied with water bottles. We generally have at least one 1-liter Nalgene water bottle each when we go out on day hikes, but often more than that. The pack weighs in at 9.9 pounds in its current form, which I think is very good. Kept it pretty light. That's without the water bottles. Each water bottle full will add about 2.5 pounds, but still happy with the weight. With that, I think this pack is largely complete. I think we're pretty well suited to handle any emergencies that we might encounter on our day hiking expeditions. If you see anything you think we've missed, I'd appreciate if you leave a comment below and let me know. I want to thank my subscribers. I'm very excited to be growing this channel. If you haven't already done so, if you're interested in this type of content, I'd greatly appreciate if you subscribe. And thank you for watching.